Hey up everybody and welcome back. Well, I'm still just sitting here from where I was when I finished off last week, so I thought I might as well just do the introduction. In fact, I still haven't even put that plug in yet. So what I'm going to do is take the bash plate off. I think actually I'll drill a hole, I should have thought of it, to get to that drain plug, so that'll be handy. It also turned out handy because the gear change lever at the end is it's just about gone. And I thought I still had one of these repair pieces, which I didn't. Nor did I have a good one of these. And they're a different length, as I discovered, to the end feed engines, which have different cases. These are shorter. So anyway, Peter Quick had a brand spanking new one, still in Cosmoline, so of course it was a bit expensive. I think it was like $112 for that, but what the hell, at least it'll have good splines on it. So it's given me chance to order that and it arrive. So let me do this bottom job, and as I said, by the magic of video, this will have arrived. And I think we'll finish off this side, tappets in, camshaft in, gearbox, excuse me. Right, now let's do the camshaft. So I've got the cam followers, and they had labels put on them. So I'll get the rear one. Now they have holes in, the holes go at the rear. I had to go and look that up in Rupert Ratio's book. So we'll oil them, holes to the rear. Goes in there. Front one, just give that a clean off. Actually, I took the trouble of bringing the Rupert Ratio book down here because I have to keep looking things up. Okay, holes to the rear. Oh, that feels tight. That shouldn't be as tight as that. Let me just give this a bit more of a clean up. Okay, I cleaned it off, put it in. Goes up and down nice and easily now, so they both do. So the next thing we'll put in is this camshaft, which is a brand new one that I got from Peter Quick, because he had it in there and it mentioned it was a milder cam, or softer I think he said, whatever the frame was, and I thought we'll give that a go. Right, so we've got our mark there, got our little mark there, everything's been oiled. Right, so there's our little mark in there, very good. So that's that in. What can we do next? Good morning. Right, I got started a little bit. I've put the oil lines on. I put the main shaft part in there, put the sprocket on because I was going to put the chain and the chain guard on. I'm damned if I can find the big nut that goes on the end of there. So I will continue to look for that. Then I've decided what I'm waiting for. The gear change thing is arriving tomorrow, Thursday. So what I'm going to do during the rest of today is I'm going to build the top end. I want to put the piston and the barrel on just to stop things falling in there. So rather than be held up with stuff, I might as well put the head in the rocker box and the push rods and everything in, and then we just have the gearbox and the transmission on the other side. So let me find this sprocket or rummage around in the BSA boxes, because I think they're all the same size. Alright, so I found one in the very last box I looked in. That's the type of lock washer it has. It has tangs on the inside to go in there, but it's actually, you can't use it. Or you maybe could if you folded it over completely. But with the very small sprocket, you've actually even got to take the corners off the nut to clear the chain. Because let me, you watch, you won't be able to catch the threads now. There we go. Because you see there how close it comes to the sprocket, to the teeth, the chain. That, just to say, gives it enough room. So what I always do with them is Loctite them on. So let me do that. So there's that all on, chain tensioner, chain guard, that's Loctited on, got a clearance here. This bush could have done with being just that bit bigger. It is, I mean, everything's at rest here basically. It is holding that off the swinging arm. It would have been nicer if it was just up there a little bit. It'll be alright, I think. Okay, I'm going to put the piston and the barrel on now. Well, we've hit a snag. Just got the piston out. I was going to check the ring gaps. And there's the box for the ring. Don't know if you can read it. Chrome. Can't use chrome rings in a Nickel barrel. They've got to be cast iron rings. And I know I was talking to Peter about this because he asked me, and he mentioned about having special rings for that, and I said, oh, they need to be cast iron, and he said, okay, well, we're all right. So I guess he didn't realise that these pistons, these G pistons, come with chrome rings, which are fine for cast iron barrels, liners, and so on. So I'll have to give him a call now and see if he's got any piston rings. So I phoned Peter at BSA Unit Singles, and the standard sort of BSA cast iron rings don't fit these JE pistons because the groove is smaller. So I went on Wiseco's website and looked up 79mm piston rings. I know they're compatible with Nickel because I spoke to Wiseco when I did the Triumph engine. And the size for them are 1, 1.2 and 2.8. And there's the box. Chrome, see, 1, 1.2, 2.8. So I'll order some Wiseco ones tonight. Luckily, as I say, I'm ahead of myself with videos, so this might not cause a delay as far as you're concerned, but I'll probably have to wait a few days. So anyway, I will knock off for now, just do some tidying up, and then tomorrow I think the kickstart, the gear change part is coming, so we can do that and get the gearbox and all the bottom end built. Well, good morning, it's Thursday. The weather forecast says below freezing up until lunch, then a bit over freezing, and then back below freezing, and there will be precipitation. So this morning it's snowing, which is going to change to rain, which is then going to change to freezing rain. So a great day. But I went to the Wiseco piston rings website and found 4 different sets of 4-stroke rings for 79mm bore, different materials. So I thought I'd better phone Wiseco and talk to them. So while I was talking to the chap, I happened to mention that I was trying to get the information because I had a Nickel bore and the piston I'd got had chrome rings. And he said, they're fine. Really, I said. Yep, he said, chrome's no problem. He said, we run chrome rings in Nickersill all the time. The only problem you get is with chrome bores. He said, some of the early Japanese bikes had chrome bores, which I guess was a strange chrome plating, and then you had to be careful about the rings. So, they are alright. We can put the piston on, and therefore the barrel and the head. So we'll build the top end. So let me check the piston ring gaps, and then we'll set to putting this all together. Alright, I've checked the piston ring gap. The book says 9 to 14, but that of course is with the old style cast iron piston rings and in a cast iron barrel. But they measure nicely. It's just an easy fit with a 10 down. 11 goes in tight, but 10 is nice. So I'll put them on, which is always a job I hate doing because of my age. I know most of you are my age, and we're used to cast iron rings. But when you're first learning, when you're a young lad and you're reading motorcycle mechanics about there's always these dire warnings about breaking the piston rings because they're brittle. The new ones, I think with the Wiseco ones, they're stainless steel with a coating and mild steel and with a coating and so on. They're a lot springier, but even so, it's just built in. And the other thing I hate doing is the bloody circlips. Well, unlike British pistons, which always have to be heated up, this one, I just tried this and it slid straight in. There it goes. This one I don't have to do that. Oh. No oil, people, no oil. Clumsy this morning. Oh, God. Very clumsy this morning. I wasn't expecting to do this, mind. I was expecting to be just tidying up. Right, there's that. Now I've got to put this bloody circlip in. See, I hate doing it. Hang on, I'll move you around. I don't know how much you'll be able to see, but I'll move you around. You might as well have a laugh. Alright. Try not to get in the way, but keep a tight grip on it, Michael. Oh, come on! I don't. Why they can't have ears on so you can use a circlip plier, I don't know. got the other one on by holding it right at the tip and using the little cutout. I'm going to turn you off. I'm going to be on this for the next hour and a half. I shouldn't have switched you off. Instead of holding this side, I held that side, put it in, plop, it went straight in. Alright, let me get the barrel. Right then, so I've got the supports under the piston. I've staggered the ring gaps, you know, sort of 2 o'clock, 6 o'clock, 10 o'clock. I've put a little bit of oil in the bore to help us in. And no comments about me needing ring compressors. Actually, this barrel's got a very good chamfer on it. I've got a feeling this will actually go on quite easily. In fact, there's the first one. Come out here so I can just push in the ends. That's the second one. Oil rings generally aren't a problem because they don't stick out that much. There we go. Let's get the supports out. There's that in. On this side where that sprocket is, that should give me enough grip. There we go. For an 8.5 to 1 piston, that's surprisingly high in the bore, isn't it? But I know, was you, Charlie, wasn't it? You mentioned using, was it a low comp B40 piston in that B44 you're doing, and you found you couldn't use it because the piston shape and the combustion chamber shape are so different? So I made a good choice using that Honda Transalp piston, didn't I, in my B44. Alright, so that's on. Now we'll put the cylinder head and everything on, okay? So I'll put the head on next. I'll show you that, it's simple. There's only two things to note. The newer B40, B44 copper gaskets have a lip on them. The lip goes upwards. It sort of goes into the little stepped joint. And don't forget to use thick washers. I've just made these for. If you don't use thick washers, the nuts tend to squish the alloy down into the threads and then the heads are hard to get off. Alright, so let me just put the head on and torque it down and then I'll bring you back. Well, you look at that. I always make those 1/8 inch. The studs aren't long enough. And the B40 studs are wasted. They're 3/8 all the way down at the bottom and then they're 7/16. So you've got to have the 7/16 part all the way in. So I'm going to have to use some, I'll see if I've got some slightly thicker than average 3/8 washers. Now we come to the rocker box. There's only a couple of things of interest here. One is, of course, the push rods are in crossways but the valves are lengthways. So I notice this has got a red head. They're both exactly the same length, but on the 250, the B25, the red one is exhaust. So red, because it's longer, so the exhaust is the inner one. So what I always do is put a bit of grease on the end to help it stay in the cup. And of course you do this with the top dead centre with both valves closed. I put a blob of grease on the side of the push rod tunnel to hold the push rod. God, I'm wobbling about today. Well, blob of grease on both sides, see, and that holds them there. Compressors in the way. Pop that on through the little window at this side. Pokey thing. Put the push rod over and pop the rocker down to hold it in place. The exhaust one. Like that. And then we'll put the nuts on there. There's two nuts going here. There's one nut that holds the rocker box down, and then of course there's the head steady, which you'll see in a minute. So trying to keep the video to a minimum so we can squeeze it in one episode. So there's the rocker box on. I'm missing a 1/4 inch nut. It's knocking around here somewhere, but I think I've got some old ones, but I'm sure I have one more new one to go on there. I haven't fastened this up yet because it's one of those chicken and egg things. I need to know where the cable's going before I fasten that up. I think the cable goes in, as I say, it's a reverse thing. Oh, these seem to be a bit short, so I checked in the parts book and there's only one nut on there, so that goes on there like that. So you've still got to do a little bit of bend in there to get that exactly right. Like that. Hang on. All right, that's clear of that there. For those of you who don't know, the cable on this sort of works in reverse. The outer of the cable butts up against that, and the nipple goes into an adjuster here. And then when you pull the cable, the inner stays the same, or stays static, and the outer gets pulled up. So, or the outer gets pushed, I should say, to put that on. So I need to know where that's going to go, to know where that's going to go, etc, etc. So, because those tappets need setting. But anyway, that goes on there with just two nuts. And then, didn't we make a thing for that? Sure we did. See, there's bugger all, that thing is virtually right. There isn't enough room to get a nut in there. I seem to remember this as being really weird before. Anyway, that's all on, that's connected up to that. So I have to set the tappets, set the valve clearances I should say, and then I can fiddle all that together. So let me go and look for this other nut. I'm getting some brand new 5/16 BSC ones, but they haven't arrived yet. So we'll have two nice new ones for there. I thought I had more 1/4 inch, but apparently not. Right, well, I'm catching up with you now. It's Monday. You saw last week's video, which I don't know, finished about Wednesday. And I already got a lot of comments saying you were pleased to hear I wasn't going to pack up immediately. Alright, so my nice new gear change came, perfect splines on it, the shorter one that goes in here. So I put the spring on. I maybe should have shown you this. You just, when it's open, it's not crossed over, you sort of just push it onto there and then you twist it and it sort of flicks on into this groove and stays where it should be. Now then, on the B25s, on the later bikes, you sort of build the gearbox up on the outer plate, this inner cover, and then it just all goes in together, gear change. But this is like the Triumph. You've got to build it up in there. At least I think you have. Anyway, that's where we're going to do it. So we'll put some oil where the main shaft goes. I've put the two selectors on. That goes in there. Probably going to really get my hands in the way here. The rod the selectors slide on goes into there. That has to go into. Oh, put any oil in that bottom bush. There, there's oil in it now. That has to go in there. Alright. So that's all in. Kickstart is in there. I don't know why I'm doing that, because I'll be putting, pardon me, gearbox oil in and then turning it over and everything. So now I think this is going to be the tricky bit, because we've got to get that onto the two sliders. Up against the spring. Oh, this is going too easily. This is worrying. And there I've got to go in there into these little cutouts. Let me get a socket on an extension for that so I can reach in and do it. That's gone together remarkably easily. Hang on. So that socket is that. That is going to be whipplet size one. Out like thus. Then we need that. Probably only a short extension. Yeah. Right, we'll try again. So that's got to go in its hole at the back. They have to go in there.
well, aren't they? I think I got that started. As I say, did I just say we got some more snow? We did, we got another 2 or 3 inches. But we were supposed to get 6 plus, so that's not so bad. The other plus with it is that it's made a sort of grippy surface on top of that icy snow. Well, I'm amazed. So now all I've got to do, put some gasket glue on there, get that on, and then this bit, see, pokes through that hole, and then we've got to put this nice brand new BSA pin through there. So what should we do first? Let's, I should get some screws as well, shouldn't I, to hold that on. Okay, let me do that. I'll switch you off while I find them. I'm just going to put the cover on, and I realised I didn't have a screw for in there. It's a 2BA thread, so I just went to look in my little compartment box of British threads and things, and I found this. It's a little brass grub screw, 2BA, with an end on it. Now of course the parts book is one of the older type parts books, so all it says is screw. It doesn't say if it's brass, it doesn't say what size it is or anything. So I think I'm going to use that, but I'm going to put a bit of Loctite on it so that it doesn't come out of there. So I'll put that in there with a bit of blue Loctite on it. It sticks out a little bit, but it's below the level of that, and the case comes around here. So let's see if we can pop a little bit of oil. Right, now you've got so many things to bloody line up here, it's not funny. There's the gear chain. Oh, that's not going to go on with the bloody, because it went on easily when I didn't have to get shafts in. Bugger! No, it's not. I've got to be careful not to pull everything out. And I'm getting covered in bloody gasket cement. Damn it. Luckily I can take these two out the front. Oh man, let me switch you off. Look at that! Alright, we'll try again. Luckily, as I say, you take the two front mounting ones out and the bash plate will just swivel down out of the way. So that goes in there. That goes in there. is now catching. Whoops, lorry going by. On the plate there. Oh, come on. There's the little bumpy stick, little rubber bumpy stick. Got it. That seems to be that. Right. Now then, we've got, see this has got a hole in it. There's a hole in that for a pin to go through. So. And as I say, that thing is actually up against like a leaf spring at the back. So let's see, that goes in with the hole at the top. This is not easy. Well, the battery went then just as I was struggling, but anyway, what I've done, I didn't want to leave go of it to change the battery. I've pulled it off slightly and then I got it to go in. It just suddenly went in. So it went in there. Why won't it go in the rest of the way? Oh, hang on. Right, it's just a question of getting it located on the other side of there. I'm barely tapping this, don't worry. Now what we've got to hope there, I think is that hole stayed, because sometimes they tend to rotate when you're getting them in. Hang on, I just picked a pin up. Yes, that's got it. Right, so I don't think that pin is too long. Let me get a pair of pliers. Actually, we'll put a little curve in this. Let's see how this is. Now this might not be a good idea, but let's see if I can get a grip of that. See, I let go of that, didn't I? Okay, let's got one out. Good. Now then, what I'm going to do now is get my hands in the way. Oh, come on. Right, that isn't going to come out of there. Okay, so now then, which screws do we want? We want that one. How long are they? That looks good. That goes back on there. We want that one goes. That one. Shorter one. Actually, I think I've got some. No, that's the shortest I've got. Hope this is the right length, otherwise I'll have to start cutting them down. No, that's a fraction too long. Oh, hang on, that one looks shorter. Anyway, let me put these screws in. Yeah, that one looks to be the right length. That one's stainless steel as well. Let me put these screws in and then I'll bring you back. That's all the screws in. And actually I'd forgotten to grease some of them, so they've all been greased. I've even put the two in the bottom. Then I spotted that hole and I thought, that looks like a kickstart spring stop. So it doesn't seem to be threaded. I checked the parts book, which is pretty poor. It's a reproduction of. And it just says kickstart stop. Doesn't really show what it is. But then I thought, wait a minute, I don't think I've got a kickstart spring either. So luckily it's nothing vital. I can order both bits. I imagine that's a press fit into that. The worst comes to the worst, I'll make one, and that's quite thick. I'll thread it. Probably thread to 5/16 BSF. So let's go around the other side. Well, tell you what, let me put this back up here. Just put the jack under it, lift it up so I can move the back wheel, see if we've got the gears. Oh, I don't have a gear change lever either. Oh well, another order coming your way, Peter. Fortunately, of course, we have several BSAs kicking around, so I took one of the lever off one of them. Alright, so that is neutral. I can hold the inner shaft there and it'll turn. So we should have one gear there, yep. Back to neutral. That's a very satisfying little kick. That's click, that's second. seems to be another neutral. That's in gear, so if that's third, yeah, that's fourth. Third, second, neutral, first, neutral. Okay, so at least it's all gone together right. So we're definitely going to work out a way to put, actually there is a bit of a thread in there. Oh, that's just scoring. No, I think it's a thread. Anyway, we'll order the part, and I don't think we have to go in there. Also, this might only be temporary, but this kickstart, I think I'd put a bit more bend out in that, and at least we can get to work with it while I sort something better out. Okay, let's go around and look at the clutch side. Actually, there are another couple of jobs on this side. One is this clutch actuating arm, which screws in there. Screw that in a minute. There's a cover that goes on there. Can't find it. I've got the cork washer. I've got a couple of nice little countersink 2BAs. Oh, the heads on them aren't very good. And I've got the nut and the lock washer for the camshaft. I think the nut is just to hold, because the camshaft's captured, is just to hold it off the back where the rear bush is. But I don't see how this lock washer works, and it is the one shown in the book. There's a little hole in there, and it shows a peg in the parts book. I have no idea what that's for either. But anyway, we'll put that on there loosely for now. I'll see if I can find that, and I'll have to order a couple more bits. Alright, we are at a complete standstill, and it's even more annoying than that. Alright, the C15 and B40 owners will know what I'm going to tell you now. I didn't just not notice that there wasn't a stop for the spring, and I didn't have the spring. That actually is a bolt that goes in there. It's a stop at this end. On the inside, it bolts into a plate, which is the stop for the Kickstarter. And as I say, it's on the inside. So I'm going to have to take all this off. So that you could, well, that's bad enough. So also, I thought I had, oh, that's the Kickstart one, several of these which go in, hang on, excuse my head, which go in there, but it only just so happens that that size, they're the wrong ID. They're actually for the later model, the points, the end of the camshaft. So I don't have an oil seal for there. So I just put an order in. I've had to order the kickstart plate, the bolt, the plate that goes on there. You know, this engine didn't have an outer cover on it. You remember I had to buy one? I'll maybe go back and look at the very first video. I've got a feeling half of this wasn't there. So anyway, take that pin out and take this cover off. What I might do, I think, is leave doing that until I put the clutch on, because if I've got the clutch and everything on, it'll hold things together. It'll hold all the gears together. They won't pull out as easily. But that is so annoying. So anyway, I've put an order in. I've put it down as UPS, so we might get it, and I might be able to do it before the end of the week, but isn't that a bummer? Alright, see you whenever. Right, I thought while I was waiting I'd finish off little jobs. So I've set the valve timing not the valve timing, the valve gaps, usual. Well, I normally set them a little bit closer. BSA is normally 8 and 10. I come in a couple of foul. But I didn't have one of these. Put them up. Well, I was missing one of them, valve cover cap, and I was missing that. But I thought, that's all right, because I know I've got some of them. So I went down in the shed to rummage and find, as you see, one of these. You'll never guess what I came across, because I didn't even know I had them. I came across two C15/B40 inner gearbox cases, and when I looked on the back of them, both of them have got the kickstart stop on. So I didn't need to order one. Anyway, new one's coming tomorrow. I'll just leave them for now when they're complete. I could have just put one of those inner cases on. Anyway, I'm still sure I made piece for that. I'm gonna search for it. I'm gonna put that on, put the carb on, make a throttle cable and stuff like that. So I'll show you as we go along, because I've already got about 50 minutes of video for this, so we are going to have a part 26. So look at this. I've got loads of everything for making cables except the things I need for the throttle cable. I got one, and with this throttle cable I need two. I need one for the twist grip end, and I need one to go in that quadrant thing that goes on the CV type carb. So I can't make a throttle cable for the moment. Well, I can make most of it. I'm going to need both of them as well, I think, to make the clutch cable. Certainly I need one of them. So got to put it in order for that. Right, let's do something else. Alright, so I've got head steady. I couldn't find one, so I had to make one up. I made it out of 1/4" alloy. That should be good enough. I popped the coil on while I was there, so this has got to be shortened. That goes to the plug. Carbon, oiled the air filters, put that on. Routed those various tubes out of the way. There's the vent. And did I say? I don't know. Anyway, I found a couple of little long type, I don't know what I got them for, brass nipples, and I was able to cross drill them and weld them up, but I don't know what this throttle cable inner is made out of. Can't get the solder to stick to it, but luckily, because I was sort of cross drilled a tube, I filled it all up with solder, and I held the nipple in the vise and pulled like mad, and they seem on nice and strong. So there we go for that. So that's going to be it for today, actually. Everything fits under nicely. Could have a fuel hose from there. Oh, that's gonna, because that's going to be a screw on one. It's going to be a spigot. It's going to come down to here. Why does nothing ever... I even had to grind a tiny bit out of there to get this to go in. Oh well. It's only a problem. We can solve problems. So that's coming along, coming along. Alright. Well, actually, we're going to... No, I'll tell you what. I'll make the clutch cable tomorrow and show you that. Let me swivel you down. Hold on a second. Am I all the way out there? Yes. I found that I can get the clutch cable to come out and go down under there. It's away from the chain. It's nice curves. It's up out the way. So I'm going to make a clutch cable that routes that way. Oh, one other little job I have to do. Hang on, let me get around this. Oh, sorry. Is, and I'm going to remember to put a little thing in there. The wires from the alternator on these go like the Triumph, goes out through the back of there. I don't want that. I want it to come out here. So there's plenty of I'm going to drill a hole here and put a grommet in, and then the wires can come out and go up nicely out the way. But I've got to remember to glue a bung into there. Alright, that's it for today. I'll tell you what, I won't do, there must be nearly an hour's video, and I've got to do another one to finish this engine off. So let's call it, my mouth won't work now, let's call that it for this week. Okay, so next week we'll definitely finish the engine off, make a clutch cable. That's actually all I have to do there, a little bit of hose, and we should be completely finished. So until next week, stay safe and enjoy yourselves.